Hi, this video is about two things. One is an interesting case, which is that of dealing with a 19-month-old toddler with GI issues, which is a interesting scenario. The other one is in order to deal with this child, I ended up having to add a new feature to microbiome prescription website. And the feature allows you to just pick which bacteria you want to go up or down, and it will generate suggestions within reasonable bounds. It does not do balancing of the amounts you want to shift up or down or contradictory results. It looks for absolutely clean suggestion from what you ask it to do. Okay, so starting point is, as you can see in the blog in front of you, issues with it. Basically, this is flying by the seat of my pants. I do not have database or data samples for this age group to any degree which is reliable. I have 0 to 10, but that is a pretty broad thing. I do remember reading lots of literature about it, and I remember pretty much what I read in literature, but I wanted to be sure, so I actually went and asked ChatGPT with very carefully phrased prompts to give the information, and basically that was after I checked some literature there. But basically, what the main thing that came out was that the level of bifidobacteria the person has is way below what is typical for toddlers, and at the same time, the amount of what used to be called firmicutes is way above what is typical for a toddler. So in other words, we see a pretty clean shift. Now, here's the problem. The existing AI engine is tuned and based on adult ranges, not child range, which are very, very, very different. In fact, the child ranges are also typical adult ranges, which means it's not the AI engine is not going to come up with any decent suggestions because it is assuming a very different type of microbiome than what this child has or what any child has. So it was having to go and add in a new feature, and the new feature I'll show in a moment. So let's just go over and take a look at that. The new feature is under research features, and if you go down and it says taxon only, enter the taxon to decrease, enter the taxon to increase. It does not look about how much out of range you are. It just simply says, okay, this is what you do, and it applies a zero risk one, which means that if any of these substances have a contradictory results, it will be excluded. So we're only going to look at things where all the data says it should help to correct. So we have to enter the taxon numbers, which is not the bacteria name, but a taxon number. So let's go back over to the easiest way to do it is go in and take a look at the microbiome tree. And where does the microbiome tree sit? My profile and visualization of microbiome tree. Nice and simple. And in this case, what we see one of the things is bifidobacterium is there, and the person is low on it. If you convert that, that is 2.8%. He should be up around 15 to 20%, so it's way low. The question is, what is the taxon numbers? Process is 2. You can either go here and look down at the very bottom of the page, or you just click it, and and it shows there. So the taxon number is 1678. So we want to go over and to increase. We type in 1678, simple as that. And the other one, which we have to go by the new name of it. They're constantly adjusting the names. Okay, give me a second to find the correct name. And the new name, which we're trying to work from, is called Prevotella, right there. And you see that that's almost 80% of the microbiome. And again, we do the same thing. We click here and we see 1239. So we go back to this page, enter in 1239. That says what we want to do. We do not work from the numbers on the sample. These are working absolutely, and now we click and it comes up with a list of things. So with that degree of simplicity, you get combination there. But if you go back to the microbiome tree and take a look and say, okay, where's all the numbers coming from? We find the numbers are coming from here, and so we can go and we can add those numbers in, doing the same process. So we go here, and the numbers which we end up adding in are I skip my walking through it, but basically that's the process you do. And then I went over to ChatGPT to find out what are the typical bifidobacterium which are usually used, and what we end up with are these ones, and now we just go and see what comes up. And now we see the name of, these are the three ones which I recall from literature, and ChatGPT basically confirm my memory, so I don't have to go out and do a bunch of searching all the ones. And, oh, we got something wrong. I have the wrong one there. So we have the top one, we have cluster. This one is wrong, so let's go over and take a look at this one. And 1186802. So I go back here and I thought that's what I had. Okay. Interesting. I'm not sure why it doesn't show up there. It should. Oh, I see why. I have. Okay. It is a good example to go back. And what happened is, if you take a look right here, you see I have typed in a period instead of a comma. So I correct that. And now we have everything showing up as we expected. And we have the list. Now we have the suggestions, and the suggestions are, I think I limited to the top 20 or 30, relatively small number. And the priorities and the citation, the one with high number of citations means there's a lot more studies saying that there's agreement on these items. And what we end up having, one more item, is that we end up, the person can go back to me, and the practitioners, they were talking with, suggest something, because this particular one was sky high. Actually, this particular one, which is part of that one, was sky high. So we go and we find its number, and we add 2816, and we go back here, go back, and we want to decrease that one. And we could also, if we want to, since it belongs to the genus Prevotella, which is, as you can actually see, 838. I did add a nice hover overs there. So we can go in and add in 838. So we can go from there, and why add an 838? The Prevotella is actually quite high. It's a major player, and even high for the rest of it. So now we have this combination of things, and I'll just click and see what comes up. And here we have the net results of things to take or things not to take. Now, if we go down and take a look at any of them, like just one, and go over here, and we can go and type in one by one the ones we're trying to do. Okay, let's type in, bifidobacteria, which you're trying to increase, and you see that everything is an increase, which is exactly what you want, and you can go and find out whatever mattress you have there. But basically, you can double check the results, see if we have 100% agreement that it helps the ones you're trying to help, or take care of or reduces the one we're trying to reduce, with no contradictory answers, which is how this system works. It is only absolutely safe according to what we know from the literature suggestions. Because we are doing it in absolute terms, we are not trying to do adjustment based on the relative shift. So, I mean, if one bacteria is way out one way, but has a study has major impact on that, and there's a little shift in a different bacteria which it shifts the wrong way, we will include that in our standard AI engine. In this case, we are going for the ultra conservative safe approach. Much shorter lists coming up, but the where we have it there, there, okay, there, but basically just good stuff from it. So you can go and play to your heart's content. And the more ones you add in there, probably the shorter the list is, and the list will shift around. So that's generally how you can go and custom build your own stuff. So that's basically it. The problem of dealing with somebody who has an unusual microbiome, particularly children, this is what I would suggest the preferred way of doing it. Okay, I'll shut up and get this online.